Can I just start with Julian Vetro? How is he?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's still with the medics at the moment, so they're still monitoring exactly what happened. But he's fine. He was fine after the match on Saturday. But we're just obviously making sure that he's closely monitored and he'll return to the squad when he's ready.
I take it at this stage, don't really know what was behind.
I've no idea. No, I don't really know. That's why they're with the medics are now trying to go into detail about exactly what it was and just to monitor the situation.
I suspect you're probably not able to answer this next question given what you've just said, but I mean obviously it's the two incidents now in a few months. I mean,
totally separate incidents.
So they're not
totally
related.
Totally unconnected. Yeah, totally unconnected. One, Mo had anaphylactic shock, so it was a reaction to food, obviously, and Julian's was he fainted, so totally unrelated. But as I say, it's something that the medics are looking into just now.
Just while we're talking about players and team news, what is your team news at the moment?
At the moment, we're still the same. Trevor Carson and Scott Fraser are the two injuries at the moment, but we're hopeful that won't be long, and after the international break, they'll return to full training and in the squad.
I would imagine you going into this game up at Pittodrie buoyed and full of confidence after what was just a brilliant afternoon or evening at Dundee.
Yeah, very much so. I think there's certain wins that are important in a season. I felt that was a real some wins more important. I thought that was a really big win for us at the weekend for a whole host of reasons. But for me, the biggest thing was that the team going 2-0 down. That our home form being questioned, and for the team to show the strong mentality, the resilience and the determination to put that right and go on and win the game, I think was real credit to the players, but I think it was a real statement win.
Sometimes I often get the impression it can take just one thing to ignite a run of results, whether it's a lucky goal or a decision going your way or something like that. Just watching the game at the weekend, it felt like that winning goal. Has it had the potential to be that moment for you guys?
Well, I've certainly felt that in training since that. The mood in the camp at the moment. Because obviously it's a fantastic win. It propels us up the league in terms of position. I've always said that. And I don't look at league tables until a round of games. And now that we've played every team now. There's becoming a wee semblance of what the league might look like. However, there's so much work. I need to stress. I need to caveat that with there's so much work for us to do. In terms of improvement and development. But no, it did certainly feel like a big win, that, and more so than that, we've been really buoyed by the fantastic news in the back of that good win about the training ground. So it's a really, really happy place at the moment. There's a real feel-good factor about the football club, so that's important to kind of use that.
Looking at Aberdeen, obviously they had that heavy defeat at Hampden at the weekend. Are you going up there smelling blood?
Well, listen, Aberdeen, first of all, I need to put in record, they deserve enormous credit for what they've done this season so far in terms of their unbeaten run. But their unbeaten run in the Cup's now finished. It's my job as Dundee manager to sow those seeds of doubt and try and make sure that my team go up there and put in a level of performance that gives us every opportunity to win the football match. So, as well as they've done, I've got my job to do at Dundee.
And I guess what nobody knows at the moment is how this new look team that Jimmy Tillene is put together, how they can react to a defeat, particularly a heavy defeat like that, because they haven't had one until now. And I guess it's an opportunity for you to go there and really make them, really put it to them.
For me, I don't look too much into that. That's for Jimmy and his staff to look at and how they do that. What I do look at is our most recent performance against them, and I thought at Dens we put in a really, really strong performance. I think it was well documented that it was really strong there, and we should have been in, probably should have come out with a positive result from that, but we never. But I certainly haven't analysed that match and other matches since that we've both played since then. I think we need to take a lot of confidence, a lot of belief from the way we played last time, and hopefully, if we add to that, add more of a goal threat to that, then we'll give ourselves every opportunity to try and put in that level of performance that we need to put in, because Aberdeen are a very good side. As I say, enormous credit for what they've done so far. They are a good team, but to be honest, we need to be at our best to beat them. But I'm very, very enthused by what I'm seeing at the moment in the training ground, and on the back of a really, first of all, strong performance against Celtic away from home, followed up by a really strong performance and a home defeat. I'm very much like the players are looking forward to the match.
I was speaking to Jordan McGee just before you came in. I mean, how good was it to get him back on the park, and what a contribution he made as well. But I mean, he's like fully fit, he's a great option to have, isn't he?
He's a brilliant professional first and foremost. Jordan, he's a great lad. I think as a character, he's got real strong. Everything I mentioned about my team there, about the mentality, about the resilience and the determination. Jordan's got that in spades. And there's so many in that dressing room. I've said that for a long time. I think it's well known we're one of the youngest teams in the league, but these young players need, those cultural architects, as I call them, those good seasoned pros like a Jordan, like a Joe Shaughnessy, all these ones that I've mentioned before, and it's great to have him back, and the fact that he was out for so long and he just comes into the match and he makes the contribution that he made, it speaks volumes about him, because sometimes it's difficult when you're injured and you're out of the picture. You need to really maintain a focus to get yourself back to the level that Jordan's got himself to, and I think he deserves, loads of credit for that. But listen, everybody plays a part, and I think it was really important at the weekend there, the introduction of Josh Mulligan as well, and also the contribution that Scott Tiffany and Billy Cometio made. But that's what I want from my squad. I want there to be healthy competition throughout, and when called upon, boys are ready to come in and act.
He's one of a number of players that's contracts are up next summer. Is there anything to report? How are talks going with
they're going okay. We're ongoing with that, and obviously that conversation becomes a lot better, once you outline the fantastic news about the approval from the council at the training facility. These boys deserve that. We're in good facilities here, but to get approval for getting into your own training ground, is fantastic news. So that can contribute towards this, and talks are ongoing, and we just want to make sure that boys are rewarded for what they've done at this football club.
Just a final one. I know you've mentioned it a couple of times. I was leaving it to the end about the training facility. I mean, just how big a deal?
Huge. Huge. I think it's massive. I really do, for the football club. It's something that, I've said since day one when I came into this football club, it is a club on an upward trajectory, and that's down to the stewardship of John and Tim, and I think they've worked so hard to get this training ground up and running, and to get that approval from the council is just fantastic news, and it allows us now to really build on that. And I don't know in terms of timescales, there's so much work went on with the Dundee FC Community Trust, but to have that training facility available for the first team to use as well is just fantastic news, and it just shows the club's going positively in the right direction.
Just back to contract, I was reading it's as many as 13 first team players who are out of contract in the summer. Is that a figure that you're comfortable with, or is it something you would like to have players' contracts signed up for?
Yeah, I think it's important you look at each individual one, but in that situation, that number there, it's all players are getting spoke to, and it's important that there is stability within the football club, and I think since I came in, it was well documented when I came in. I think there was only 3 signed players, so we've managed in that first season to build up a core of players. It's steady improvement every year, and we're working very much on that basis to create that stability and that sustainability. And that involves these contract extensions, which go hand in hand with the news of the training ground and all that kind of stuff. So it's all positive for me. I think the club's in a really good place, and I think real credit to John Nelms and Tim Keys for their forward planning to get us at this stage that we're at, and it's just trying to develop that and make things better.
So for fans who maybe at all worrying, are we going to see a very different team next season? Do you think the majority of those deals will get sorted before the end of the season?
Well, we're speaking to the players. We're speaking to the players, and these things are ongoing, and we don't want to put ourselves out there and mention any more than we need to. But talks are ongoing at the moment. The future of the club we're looking at, in terms of, as I say, stability and sustainability, and that's something that's in hand at the moment.
And just very finally, you talked earlier in the season when results weren't going your way about the performances being better than results. Looking at the table now, do you think 6th place is a fair assessment for the team so far this season?
I think you'd need to caveat that. I think the league's really strange this year. I think it's so competitive. If you look at the makeup, you're saying 6th, but if you actually look at the way the points are divided up there, it's such a competitive league. So for us to be, I always say after a round of games, you look at the table because that takes some kind of semblance of what you think it may be. But for me to assess that, I think there's loads of room for improvement in our team and in terms of our performances and results. So as manager, all I look for is the consistency of performance, and I've said before, if you get those levels of performance, it gives you more chance to pick up the right results and pick up points in the league table. So although I'm satisfied at the league position at the moment, there's so much more room for improvement.
Is that the motivation then for can get that consistent run,
Yeah.
even more could come.
Yeah, I think the players know that themselves. You know, they're an honest bunch in here, as I say. They're very conscientious. We're a hard-working group, you know, so I think we all recognise that, you know, as much as we're sitting in that position at the moment, we could be sitting so much higher. We could be doing a lot better in terms of, you know, certain things within matches, within games. But trust me, we work hard towards making sure that gets better, because this is an environment that it's all about development and improvement, and it's something that we strive to do on a daily basis and on a match-to-match basis, and it's something we'll continue to do throughout the season.
Thank you.
Another really exciting game there at the weekend. Kilmarnock Dundee seem to have this kind of habit of putting exciting games together. I think the last 6 have all had, you know, 2-2s and 3-2s, etc. from there. Do you put that down to maybe something between yourself and Derek McInnes working together so long and having the kind of same sort of mentality that's produced these exciting games in 0-0 draws?
I don't know if you would look that deep in it. I think it's just as basic as the two of us are extremely competitive people, you know, and that even Sunday's game there as an example, I think at 2-2, you've seen that, you know, none of the teams were settled. I agreed with Derek's comments after it. None of the teams looked like they were going to settle for that 2-2, and they had moments in the game at 2-2 where, you know, it worried me, and we ultimately got that most important moment to go and win the game. But I just think it's that competitiveness, you know, that you're not going to lie down and you're going to do your best to get all 3 points, and that's been kind of evident in all the games that we've had so far. But, you know, they're good games, they're a good advert, I think, for Scottish football.
And going to hopefully take that momentum into the game at Pittodrie this weekend, up against Himmy at Ice on Home Patch.
Yeah, because I think it was important, the talk to the boys before the Kilmarnock game was about taking the benefit or the positives from a really strong performance away against a really, really good Celtic team into this match. So we did that, the Kilmarnock match. We came out with the performance and the result, and now we're going up to play an Aberdeen team who, yes, they deserve huge credit for what they've done this season, but, you know, I'm very much focused on my team, and I think we're in a good place just now, and I think you know, there's a real good feel about the club at the moment, you know, with obviously the announcement of the training ground, but the way the team are playing and the way that we're improving and developing, I think there's a good feeling about us, and we're very much looking forward to the trip up to Pittodrie.
You're going up there to a full stadium that's going to have full of Dundee supporters, majority of Aberdeen supporters, creating a huge atmosphere up there. What's it like for yourself and the players to go into that arena where it's just so electric when you go in?
It's brilliant, and we're really looking forward to it, because you get, I mean, from my time up there, you get such a fantastic atmosphere up at Pittodrie. But it's our job to make sure that, you know, there's a full house there, but, you know, you can affect the crowd by the way you perform as the away team, and that's something that we'll certainly be looking to do. You know, we'll have a game plan to play against a really good opponent, and hopefully on the day we can execute that game plan. But it's, in terms of a really exciting match, you know, I think it's on TV, it's really exciting stuff, it's a full house, so that's something that we all look forward to.
John, if I could just reflect on the weekend, if I may, how big a result was that?
I think it was massive in terms of, you know, we've been on the end of a few difficult results in the last sort of 5-10 minutes of games, and to be on the flip side of that is a positive one for the dressing room, and shows everyone, you know, that, you know, we've got a good fighting spirit about us and we're ready to hopefully kick on this season now.
Sometimes it just takes a little thing to ignite a run of results, maybe, whether it's it's the old cliche, the ball bouncing off somebody's back and going into the net, or a decision or something like that. I was at the game at the weekend, and it almost had the feeling of that winner, that 4th minute of added time winner, could perhaps be that moment for Dundee, maybe that wee catalyst to get the run of positive results going again.
We spoke about that on Monday's debrief about the game. We referred back to last season. I think with a lot of goals in the last minute. I think one off the top of my head was Big Joe. Looks free kick, hits all the post, hits off his chest, up in Ross County in the last minute, and I think that really propelled us. And we're looking for more of the same. As I said, it's a new squad, but now they've experienced that, we can hopefully hold on to that feeling, bottle it, and use it many more times this season.
And I would imagine you're now heading up to Pittodrie this weekend, just buoyant, confident mood.
Yeah, we've been playing well in recent weeks, so obviously we've been in the end of a few difficult results, but the performance levels have been good, and I think we got what we deserved at the weekend, so we're going to Pittodrie. I hear it's a full house, so it's a game we'll relish and really look forward to.
And you'll be getting this full of confidence, because Aberdeen still smarting, I would imagine, after the thrashing by Celtic at Hampden. I mean, are you heading north kind of smelling blood?
Listen, we fans ourselves in most games this season, but we know we're under no illusion it's going to be a tough match up in Aberdeen. As I said, full house. They've got the fans behind them and everyone's on side in the city now. But ourselves, we're in good form, as I said, and the win at the weekend was massive, so we can hopefully bounce into the game and pick up a result.
Just from your own point of view, how good was it to be back on the pitch after a wee while out?
Yeah, it was massive. At one point, it was my scan result came back saying it might be 3 months. So, but I felt no pain a couple of weeks after, and then the club got me another scan and a bit more better news. So I've worked away hard with the physios and the staff behind the scene, and came back. I think it's almost 7 weeks early. So the feeling of scoring was massive for me, and it's hopefully it can kick me on this season, score many more, and as I said, propel the boys, fill them with confidence that we can go pick up more points.
And how do you feel sharpness wise coming back from that injury?
I feel good. Obviously, in the first couple of days back in training, it's always difficult to get your head around it. Worried it might go again or whatever. But now I've done all the groundwork, all the rehab, and I've been training now. And the 45 minutes at the weekend stood me in good stead as well. So, no, I feel good, ready to go. And the manager and staff have been great to me. They've been keeping in regular touch and making sure I feel right, more importantly than just chucking me in and I'm maybe not at it. So they've managed me well, and hopefully just whenever I get a call, I'm ready to go.
The manager's talked previously about the role Joe Shaughnessy plays despite being injured. How have you found it kind of being on the injury table, and I suppose what is the atmosphere like among those who have that setbacks, and do you still feel you've got that role to play even when you're not playing?
I think you do to an extent. It's sometimes difficult to speak up in the debrief meetings, and there's goals conceded or not a good result because you've not been on the field, so you've not got a feel or a sort of pulse for the game. But when around the place, I like to think that boys can company with anything, and I'm always good around the place. So still felt the same that way. Obviously missed being out on the pitch, of course I did, but try to help the boys keep positive as much as I could. And as I said, it is difficult, but you get people like Joe that are out long term as well. You see the work he's putting in, it just spurs yourself on to get a rehab done and put the groundwork in to come back.
And in terms of looking ahead, I know within the Dundee club, the squad, that there's a number of players who are out of contract at the end of the season. I think you're one of them, is that correct? Have talks progressed at all at this point? Not
just concentrating my football, but I just wanting myself back fit as soon as possible. I said when I got the news, I was for 3 months. My head, obviously, you can imagine, was all over the place. But now I'm back, I'm just concentrating and trying to pick up as much points as I can for the club, help my teammates, and I just try and kick on and try and pick up as many points and goals and assists and do as well as I can, and we'll see what comes to fruition. Is that a bit of a motivation to impress the manager, to impress the club, so that contract maybe is there come the end of the season? I think it's always there. Whether you get 2 years in a contract, you get 3 years left. There's always higher levels, and you always strive to do as well as you can. And ever since I've been at the club, I've given my absolutely all, and I'll continue to do so. And whatever happens. And as I said, I'm just looking forward to try and get my head down, pick up as many points as we can, and try and propel us up the league a wee bit. Best luck for the weekend. Thank you.
What is it about Dundee and Kilmarnock games just now? 3-2 last minute Dundee winner weekend. A couple of weeks before, 3-2 Kilmarnock last minute winner. 4 before, I think 3-2. What's it about the game that's making this exciting and good?
I don't know. I think it's just both teams just desperate to win. Even when you go back to last season, I think the games were the same. It was mental. Even last day of the season, I think Kilmarnock had finished, was it 4th maybe? It was comfortably. And we were obviously in the top 6 as well. So, in the end, it was kind of a dead rubber game, but the boys, the management team, never felt like that. We thought we need to go out and win this game. So I think that just shows that both teams have got a competitive spirit in them, and I think you see that on Sunday again. It's good for the neutral anyway.
That's certainly what this league is producing, is lots of games like this where it could go any way, and it's proven it that way.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously you've got the big two. Aberdeen are really doing well, and you've also got the Edinburgh sides as well. And after that, everyone's fighting for the same positions. Not much in the games, give or take mistakes here or there. So you need to try and be as consistent as you can during the season, and you shouldn't be too far off where you achieve to be.
Getting 45 minutes at the weekend there, was that a boost to you as you get more time than you thought you might get on the weekend?
I felt, as I said, I was on a bench at Parkhead, but we sort of decided not to use me in that game. Just try and be there around the boys, get myself felt back into the situation and a game day situation. And I trained well the week after that, and then was always ready to go whenever I got called upon. And the area manager said at half time, just come on and get yourself going, help the team back into the game, and thankfully I've done that and I've managed to get 3 points.
11 minutes after coming on, you chipped in your own wee bit, didn't you?
Yeah, of course, that's what I aim to do. I scored quite a few goals last season for that position, so as I said, I just work myself back fully fit now and try and chip in as many as I can and help the club and the team, pick up more points.
Just one for myself, you sort of mentioned it a little bit before there in terms of the league, but just what do you make of the quality of the league this season? You've played most of the teams so far, and in previous seasons you maybe see Celtic and Rangers kind of cut adrift at the top, and sometimes a team almost cut adrift at the bottom. But just what do you make of the quality of the league that is so tight so far this season?
I think it's really good. As you said, all the games are really tight, really good for a neutral. And I think I personally think the league's get better. I think when you, as a fullback, wherever I play, you think of the wingers that you're up against. It's never an easy game, so you know that every week you need to be on it. And that's been the case. Any league, any top flight, you play there, you need to be on it every single game, and that's what we need to make sure we're doing consistently. And we'll keep in there.